welcome to another unsolved mystery case. In this case, we're talking about Dorothy Dandridge. Yes, Dorothy Dandridge, the one singer, actress, humanitarian, etc. from the 1960s. Yes, the beautiful Dorothy Dandridge. She was found dead in her West Hollywood apartment, well, condo or whatever you want to call it, on September 8th, 1965. Naked. Here is the story that I'm reading via Wikipedia. On the evening of September 7, 1965, Dandridge spoke by telephone from Los Angeles with her friend and former sister-in-law, Geraldine, aka Jerry, Bratton. Dandridge was scheduled to fly to New York the next day to prepare for her nightclub engagement at Bassin Street East. Bratton told biographers that during the long conversation, Dandridge veered from expressing hope for the future to singing Barbra Streisand People in its entirety, to making descriptive remark moments before hanging up on her. Whatever happens, I know you will understand. That's what she said. On the morning of September 8th, around 7:15, Dorothy Dandridge was alive. She was telephoning her manager, Earl Miles, asking him to arrange a later appointment, then an hour at the hospital where a cast will be applied to her foot, where a tiny bone fracture had occurred in a fall 5 days earlier. A few minutes later, she requested a further delay, and at 10 a.m. hour was scheduled. Her manager, Miles, was unable to arouse her when he arrived at her door at the appointed hour. It was Hollywood. Talent was often temperamental. He left. Several hours later, Dandridge was found naked and unresponsive in her apartment by Miles after he had to finally break her apartment door down, using a lever. A Los Angeles Pathology Institute determined that the cause of death was an accidental overdose of antidepressants. The Los Angeles County Coroner Office concluded that she died of a fat embolism resulting from a recently sustained right foot fracture. That what was told. I'm not too sure about this diagnosis. This sounds really weird. I mean, antidepressant, imipramine. Come on now. I don't know about that. And he had to knock down a door using a tire lever. It just sounds fishy. Because you gotta understand, fat embolism, if you want to know, it occurs when fat enters the bloodstream and results in symptoms. Symptoms generally begin within a day. It may include a rash or a decrease of some kind of consciousness, shortness of breath, and things of that nature. But you don't die that fast. You know what I mean? And when she was on the phone for damn near the whole day, she didn't show any signs of dying or anything of the nature, or losing her breath or anything. And next day she was ready to go and party or whatever. So that didn't seem right to me. I think whoever did the coroner, I don't know, but I'm not going to put thoughts right now. I'm going to let the cards speak. So we're going to let the cards speak for itself. Okay, I'm not going to come with any assumptions. We're just going to let the cards speak. Okay, before we get started, take a look at this.
Hello everyone, it's Christina here. Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we will be highlighting a legendary Black woman, Dorothy Dandridge, a life of triumph and tragedy. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the channel and for turning your notifications on. Dorothy Dandridge was an American actress, singer, and dancer. She was born in Cleveland, Ohio on November 9, 1922, to parents Ruby and Cyril Dandridge. Her father was a cabinet maker and Baptist minister, and her mother an entertainer. They separated just before her birth. Her mother created a song and dance act for her two young daughters, Vivian and Dorothy, under the name The Wonder Children, later renamed the Dandridge Sisters. They performed in venues such as the Cotton Club and the Apollo Theater. The act was managed by her mother's lover, Geneva Williams, who had a bad temper and cruelly disciplined the girls. The sisters toured the southern U.S. almost non-stop for 5 years, rarely attending school. During the Great Depression, her mother moved her family to Hollywood, where she found steady work on radio and film in small domestic servant roles. After that relocation, Dorothy attended McKinley Junior High School, where the Dandridge sisters were teamed with dance schoolmate Etta Jones. Dorothy first appeared on screen at the age of 13 in a small part in Teacher's Boo in 1935. As part of the Dandridge sisters, she also appeared in the big broadcast of 1936 with Bill Bojangles Robinson and A Day at the Races with the Marx Brothers. Although these appearances were relatively minor, she continued to earn recognition through continuing her nightclub performances nationwide. Her first credited film role was in Four Shall Die. The Race film cast her as a murderer and did little to help her acting career. It was known that she rejected stereotypical black roles, which caused her to have limited options for movie roles. She also had small roles in Lady from Louisiana with John Wayne and Sundown with Genevieve Tierney in 1941. Her big break came in 1953 after the 20th Century Fox conducted a nationwide talent search for the casting of an all-black musical film adaptation of Oscar Hammerstein's second 1943 Broadway musical, Carmen Jones. Her audition earned her the coveted title role of Carmen Jones. Other starring cast members included Diane Carroll. Carmen Jones opened to favorable reviews and strong box office numbers in 1954. Her performance as the seductive Carmen made her one of Hollywood's first African-American stunner and earned her positive reviews. On the 1st of November of that same year, she became the first black woman featured on the cover of Life magazine. The movie became a worldwide success, eventually earning over $10 million at the box office and becoming one of the year's highest earning films. Dorothy was nominated at the 27th Academy Awards for Best Actress, becoming the first African American nominated for a leading role. Although Grace Kelly won, Dorothy became an overnight sensation and an international star. In 1957, she sued the Confidential magazine for libel over its article that described a scandalous incident that took place in 1950, which was subsequently proven fictitious, and she accepted an out-of-court settlement of $10,000. It was revealed that the magazine published false information provided by hotel maids, clerks, and movie theater ushers who were paid for their tips. The stories often centered around alleged incidents of hookups and one-nighters. It should be known that this trial curtailed invasive tabloid journalism until 1971, when the National Enquirer was moved from New York to Latana, Florida, where there were fewer restrictions. That same year, after a 3-year absence from acting, she agreed to appear in the film Island in the Sun opposite an ensemble cast where she portrayed a local West Indian shop clerk who had an interracial love affair with a white man. The film was controversial for its time period, and the script was revised numerous times to accommodate the motion picture's production code requirement about interracial relationship. Dorothy and her castmate did have an extremely intimate, loving embrace that succeeded in not breaching the code. Despite the behind-the-scenes controversy, the film received favorable reviews and was one of the year's biggest successes. In late 1958, she accepted an offer to star alongside Sidney Poitier in Porgy and Bess. This was her first major Hollywood film in 5 years, and she was nominated for a Golden Globes Award for Best Actress. However, her acceptance angered the black community, who felt that the story's negative stereotyping of black people was degrading. By 1963, her popularity had dwindled, and she was performing in nightclubs to pay off debts from numerous lawsuits. She filed for bankruptcy and went into seclusion for a while. Dorothy was married twice, first on September 6, 1942, to Harold Nicholas, a dancer and entertainer who she had met while performing as part of the Dandridge sisters. She had given birth to her only child, Harold Nicholas, the following year. While she was in labor, her husband left her stranded at home without a car and went to have an affair with her best friend. At first, She refused to go to the hospital until he returned. This delayed birth resulted in her daughter's brain damage, requiring lifelong constant care. She blamed herself for her daughter's condition, and it was sad as the child was unable to speak and never recognized Dorothy as her mother. The marriage eventually deteriorated because of Nicholas' womanizing and inattentiveness, and by 1948, he had abandoned his family, leading her to file for divorce. She then went on to marry Jack Dennison on June 22, 1959. They divorced 3 years later amid financial setbacks and allegations of domestic violence. Dandridge discovered that the people who were handling her finances had swindled her out of huge sums of money, and she owed back taxes to the IRS. She was forced to sell her home and place her daughter in a California state mental institution. Her daughter eventually passed away in the year 2003. On September 8, 1965, she made a cryptic remark to her friend saying, "Whatever happens, I know you will understand." Shortly after, she was found nude and unresponsive in her apartment. There were initially conflicting causes of death. A Los Angeles Pathology Institute determined that the cause of death was an accidental overdose of antidepressants, while the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office concluded that she died of a fat embolism resulting from a right foot fracture sustained 5 days earlier. Her body was cremated and her ashes interred at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park. In the 80s, after the passing of the blaxploitation era, stars such as Cicely Tyson, Jada Pinkett Smith, Halle Berry, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston, Kimberly Elise, and Angela Bassett began to acknowledge Dandridge's contribution to the image of African American in American motion pictures. In the 1995 movie To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, Wesley Snipes played Noxeema Jackson, a drag queen whose dream was to play Dorothy Dandridge in a movie about her life and work. In 1999, Halle Berry produced and starred in the HBO movie introducing Dorothy Dandridge, for which she won the Primetime Emmy Award, Golden Globe Award, and Screen Actors Guild Award. Dorothy was posthumously awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and was featured as the most prominent figure in a mural on an exterior wall of Hollywood High School. A statue of Dandridge honors multi-ethnic leading ladies of the cinema. In the February 2016 episode of Blackish, Sink or Swim, Beyoncé is referred to as the Dorothy Dandridge of her time, citing the star power Dandridge wielded in her day. In 2020, Laura Harrier portrayed Camille Washington in the Netflix miniseries Hollywood. She is an up-and-coming actress during the Hollywood Golden Age in the post-World War II era, a character largely inspired by and based on Dorothy Dandridge.
Cleanse these decks, purify these decks, cleanse from negativity, from demons, from evil, lies. I want to bring forth truth. I want to bring forth truth about Dorothy Dandridge. What happened to her? September 8th, 1965. Tell me what happened to you, Dorothy. What happened? Okay, we're going to start up these cards. This card came up. This card popped out of my hand and King of Cups. Okay, this came up. Two of Cups. This came up. Ace of Cups. King of Cups. Two of Cups. Five of Swords. Okay, the Ace of Cups, which means it was a new relationship or a marriage or some kind of proposal shortly before she died. Which means someone who was very infatuated with her probably asked her to marry him. And she denied it. She did not want it, apparently. He didn't take that very well. But she definitely got some new proposal, new relationship, something. It may not even been a relationship or proposal. It may just been a new deal or a movie deal or something that someone else wanted and they didn't like her to have it. It could have been that, but it was something new. But I'm getting There's either a new not record deal. It was either a new script or why the record deal pops up. Was she thinking about making another record? I got record deal, honestly, and in the relationship. Someone was definitely really interested in her. She was not interested in it at all. So I got that. And then the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is a supported leader, some kind of leader in her life. Really tolerated her for a long time. May have been kind of a father figure. I'm getting a manager. Okay, I got the Two of Cups here. Two of Cups is telling me, see, again, this is a romantic love partnership. It was a partnership, so it wasn't a new deal or script. It was a partnership. So a leader, manager, some kind of leader in her life. I don't know if he was making deals or whatever, but they had a partnership. And then we have the Five of Swords, which means it was a lot of theft. It was abuse going on in a relationship. So someone was stealing from her. As you can see, someone was stealing from her. Some leader or some manager was stealing from her. I don't know if she recently fired him or... Let's find out more about this manager. Okay, now I'm about to pop out. Okay, now I'm about to pop out. Now I'm about to pop out. Now I'm about to pop out. I'm about to pop out. Now I'm about to pop out. Okay, these are the cards that I pulled for her, and this is the Dark Clouds, as you can see here. See, let me just get a little close here to come into focus. Okay, the Dark Clouds, as you can see, which means not seeing things clearly. Not seeing things clearly, but there's definitely storms and bad events happening, you know? That's what it means. You see of course, behind the dark clouds, there's sunlight, but in the meantime, you can't see it clearly because it's been blocked, which means deception. And then you have roses, which means a love interest, or it could be an invitation. You see the invitation with the roses, which means someone invited her to some kind of party, maybe a date or something along those lines. So that means a love interest or an invitation to some kind of party. The whisk or the broom or the birch or whatever. It's violent. This means the person who did this is very violent. He has a temper. That's what that means. He's very violent. He has temper. He's quick to be angered and things of that nature, which is weird that this is coming out because it coincides with this, you know, the thief. The leader, the partnership. You see this person at parties, loves events, loves hiding amongst the crowd and socializing, loves that life. And then there's a letter, an invitation, or something along those lines with Dorothy Dandridge's name on it. It's by her ward. So if they want to know the truth, it's a letter that was written probably by her love interest, whoever did this to her. And it's near an award of some kind, maybe, or a mail or something like that. And has her name on it. They want to know the truth. Look among that letter or that award because he written her a letter or some kind of letter stating or giving you a clear indication of her fear of him and the crap that she dealt with that she didn't tell anybody for some reason. This person is two-faced, which means they hide very well their deception, who they really are. One minute they're nice, but they're not really nice. They hide the truth a lot, hence the dark clouds. They're really good at deceiving people, making it seem like they're this nice, wholesome person, but they're not nice and they're not wholesome. They're very deceiving and they're liars. So far what we got here is there was some kind of deal and opportunity. I don't think she went for it. They were partnership, which means they worked together. And working together, which means more than likely they still work together, or maybe she dropped them shortly before she died. And he's very violent, apparently. He's some leader, strategic leader. He's probably led plenty of artists before, I'm assuming. and he stole from her. He was a thief. He stole her money. He's not a very honest man, and he's very violent. He has a really bad temper. You probably find a letter of her discussing his bad temper. He has a really bad temper. And he's two-faced. He comes across nice and wholesome and humble, but he's a really evil man. I don't think he's alive now. But storms, which means he hide behind. You can't see him clearly. Hence the two-faced. You can't see him clearly because he's good at deceiving people, even though there's sunlight on the other side. But he's really good at deceiving. She hid these actions from a lot of people of how he treated her. Now, he may have been Caucasian and very powerful, and that's why she hid it, because she's afraid of what people may say or think or whatever. That's what I'm assuming. You saw him at a lot of parties around her, maybe hanging around her of some kind. So there were definitely a lot of parties together. There was definitely an invitation, some love interest or something like that that was sent to her. So that maybe coincides with this letter. So we got a letter, an invitation, some kind of award. That would give you a clear indication of what happened to her. I'm not getting that she died from antidepressants. I'm not getting that at all. I'm getting some kind of leader, partnership, maybe a manager or something. That's what I'm getting. Let's find out a little bit more about this individual. How did Dorothy Dandridge die? Okay, that came. So that's all I'm getting. I'm getting a gift and a mature man. Mature man means a very distinguished man, someone a lot older and civilized, so to speak. He's in this library, so he's probably a professor, some smart guy or something like that. So that's what we're getting. So whoever did this he's older than her anyway. And it was a gift. See, we're getting the gift. See, this gift thing is popping up. It's very significant in her death. There's a letter or an award or something. And then there's an invitation. Probably it was next to some flowers or roses or something. It was a gift, an invitation, and a letter. That holds the key to her death. I don't know why. It probably speaks volumes of the guy's character or something, but it definitely holds volume to her death. I'm getting, considering he's violent, we have the dark clouds, which means the story that was told around her death was not true. Someone lied about what really happened that day. I mean, this man was obsessed with her, but she had mixed feelings about him. He gave her a gift, an invitation to something. It was a letter. This letter tells a lot. It's next to probably an award or something. I don't know where her belongings are now, but he showed up at parties with her. He's two-faced, which means he's good at deceiving. She died a violent death. This pretty much means he has an anger problem. She died a really vicious death. I'm getting he smothered her. I think he even raped her. And then laid her right there on the floor. And he left. She opened the door for him. So she knew him. She opened the door for him. I'm getting a Caucasian guy. Someone who lied about what really happened that day. And he lied for a reason, because I think the neighbor saw him, so he lied for a reason. She found out he was stealing from her. She was going to end their partnership. So someone lied about what happened that day. That's what the dark cloud is. Someone lied about what really happened that day. He goes the key to her death. And the key to her feelings about him and how he felt about her is in a letter or some award or gift or something that she had around that day. I don't know if she still had. I'm not sure who had her belongings, but the key was in the letter or mail or invitation or something of how he really felt about her, because he lied about how he felt. He made it sound like it was professional, but it wasn't not professional. He was a vicious, very evil, violent man. I mean, he was really good at lying. He comes across as very nurturing, but he hate hearing the word no. He's like, hey, no, and he's struggling with him, and he's like, no. He threw her in the bed. He wrecked her, and he smothered her. And then made the death look like a suicide or whatever. And then he left. And I think he came back. Anyway, that's all I'm getting here. Whew, okay, I'm back to the present. I was in that zone. It was really, I was seeing her struggling, get off of me, and stuff like that. And he was like, no, I did this for you, you stupid bitch. I mean, he was really violent. Okay, I'm just gonna get out of the, okay, Back to the Future. That's what I'm getting here. I hope this helps gazillion years later. I'm not sure if it helps. I don't even know if the guy's still alive. He's probably dead right now. Anyway, but I think it was her manager or some kind of partnership with her. That's all I'm getting from here. Let me know what you think below. And don't forget to subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video and share.